Viewers, welcome back to the Self-Made Auto Channel. That's the 05 Buick. It's a LeSabre. Customer states no door locks. Same thing with the dome light, the trunk, the windows, the rear defogger. It has a turning signal that blinks really fast and a brake light is out. He's tried replacing the rim module and the driver's door module, none of which worked. So now it's here. I assume, like most cases we get into, there's always more to the story. A lot of connectors laying on the floor, a lot of wires been cut. So I don't know the real story, but maybe they're just cut off connectors from the used rim module. That's what I'm hoping for, the used door module, something like that. Evidently everything he's tried, nothing has helped. So now we have to look at it. So what we'll do, the turning signal blinking fast and the brake light out, probably a different issue than the other things like the windows and the door locks and stuff. I imagine those are all related, so I think you might have a couple different things going on here, but I guess first thing first, we can just pick something, you know, whether it's a door locks, power windows, rear defogger, something like that. Chances are if we fix one of those, it'll fix everything else, unless it's a whole bunch of unrelated issues. Let's grab the key, let's verify the customer complaint, see what works, what doesn't work, and see if we can develop a plan from there. Probably be the best bet. He did leave the back seat out for us, which is kind of nice, because apparently, like I said, I see the connectors laying on the floor, but I'm hoping we got an extra bolt, we got an extra relay. Okay, we have no dome light. How do these things typically work? Oh, okay, so the lights themselves work. They just don't work when you open the door. Oh shoot, we need to get the keys. We'll cut the key on. Blower motor. Okay, so it does recognize door ajar, so that's good, even though it doesn't turn on the dome light. Left turn blinks fast. Right turn's normal. Okay, like I said, I think that's a different problem. No trunk, no lock, no unlock. Oh, window works. Oh, he told me the windows didn't work. Okay, so the windows work. So no lock, no unlock, no trunk. And we seem to have no dome light even when I turn it up to full beans. Down here on the switch, which is down here, that does not turn on the dome light. And is there a dome light in the back? Maybe on the side, but they don't seem to work. Okay, let's focus on that. Window, or yeah, not windows. I'll roll the window down. That's why I pulled the keys, because I didn't think the windows worked. So I'm not sure what he's saying about that, but we'll check out the door locks, maybe the trunk, and the interior lights. See if that all has anything to do with the same thing. So here's what I'm thinking, folks. We should take a look, because I'm thinking we maybe have a more issue with the driver's door module. I did a little poking on some wiring diagrams, and the driver's door locks seem to be kind of standalone. Nothing to really do with the rim module, unless there's something bizarre going on I'm not familiar with. I wonder what this module is. The mystery module. I don't know what that one is. Hopefully it lights up green, but it didn't. We'll have to see what that is. What I'm concerned with, let's see, this one here, this rear integrated module, driver door module, this one down here is what I'm mostly concerned with, to see if it communicates. The trunk does go through this rim module, but it also goes through the driver door module first, I believe, the best that I can tell. So we'll let this finish. Okay, so we have no comm with the rim, so there's something. Let's see if we have no comm with the driver door module. No, we can talk to that. This vehicle communication interface module, no communication with. This RFA module, I believe, works because when we push the door lock button on the key fob, the lights on the outside of the vehicle light up, but that's about it. But yeah, no com with the rim module. That's going to be a key player right there. I don't think it's going to fix our door locks. Okay, let's go to report. And again, this guy's been playing with everything, so I think a lot of these codes may be irrelevant. Yeah, these are all history codes. We've got one current code here for the airbag. These are all history codes. One current code for class 2 data link malfunction. History, one current code for class 2 data link malfunction. A lot of history codes. Lots of history codes. Class 2 data link malfunction. Okay. Lost com with the rim. So let's do this just because we don't know what he was fiddling with. We don't know what the mystery module there is. I'm going to clear the codes out of everything, and then we're just going to approach it like we would anything else. All right, let's see where we're at here. I'm going to skip that. The mystery module is ABS. Must be something goofy in their software here. Okay, so we got our class 2 data link malfunction. Okay, 1255 code. All right, no problem. The big thing is we have no communication with this rim module. Let's go ahead and see if we can't fix that. I would be surprised if it fixes the door locks, to be honest with you. I'll show you why I think that. Because if we come here and we go to power door locks, unless there's something wrong with my brain, which is a possibility, I don't see the rim module here. What are we dealing with? You know, front door lock, we have our door lock actuators here. Passenger side door lock switch, oops. Front right door module, door lock actuator, right rear door lock module, left rear door lock actuator, driver's door lock switch, driver door lock switch assembly, left front door module, so we can talk to that, left rear door module. You know, other than it being on the class 2 data network, I don't think we'll have anything in common there unless the rim is missing power and it utilizes one of the same fuses that operate the door locks. Like I say, this RFA module receives a signal because the lights light up when we're doing our push button. But I'm not going to sit here and follow powers and stuff just yet. However, when we go to when we look at what it takes to release the trunk, that does use the rim module. Okay. The left front door module receives the push button input from the trunk release. That receives it and must transmit it over class 2 serial data, and then the rim module in turn pops open the relay there, or hits the relay, which opens this actuator here on the trunk. So that's that. Let's I'm gonna grab a diagram here when I get done getting click happy for the rim module, and we'll see if we can figure out powers, grounds, and ability to communicate. And maybe he got a whole bunch of bad rim modules, or maybe it's just missing power or something. All right, well, lucky for us, folks, it's our lucky day. Here's the rim module. No idea if this is original. It's not. It's got the big W on it from Wilbur's. Not a sponsor. Typically they're back here. You would access it through the trunk, but being that the trunk doesn't open and his key lock apparently is seized up, he was nice enough to pull the seat apart for us and do it like that. Let's see, I think we'll use, I grabbed the leads here for our scope, so we'll use that. We'll do our measurements I think first thing first, we're going to check power and ground, which appears that we have one full-time power there, and then it looks like maybe a switch power on a pink wire. And then am I not seeing, oh, okay, yep, and then we have 2 grounds. So we have 2 grounds and 2 powers, and then we'll check those, and then what we'll check for as well as our class 2 serial data, and see what that looks like. If I remember, we'd be looking for like a square wave data communication, and I believe it's 0 to 7 volts on class 2. The only reason I remember that is because I think class 2, I don't know if it goes to pin 2. Maybe it used to go to pin 7. It was 7 volts. I don't know. For some reason, 7 volts is stuck in my brain hole. All right, so let's get this started. Let's see. Pop into the oscilloscope. All right. Well, first let's find our wires. So it says the smaller connector C1. Looks like there should be a black with white, and there is. There's actually 2 black with whites. So does that mean our diagram is wrong? Probably. Remember rule number 1, folks. Never trust service info. So I have 2 black with whites. Let's see if we can find some connector IDs on here, which I think I may have found. Okay, that's row B. B8 is black with white, and also A8 is black with white. Oh, that's because I'm a ding-dong and I can't read a wiring diagram. Both of them are clearly labeled on there as being grounds. Let's, what I can do here is I can show you what I'm looking at. We'll open this up, and because I'm a ding-dong, so there we are, A8, so that's A1 through 8, and then B8, so both of those are black with white. And then we're going to go to A4, which is pink, and that one comes from a relay. So with the key in the cut on position, I would expect to see battery voltage here. So I'm going to probe into one of the grounds. I don't care which one, they both come from the same place. And then we're going to go to A4, not AA, A4. I don't know if that's what I told you. We need to get back to our scopage. We're going to go to A4. We're probed into A4. We're going to go 20 volts, which we don't have. And then we're going to go 1 second per division, nice and slow. Okay, so no voltage there. I'm going to probe the other ground. There's the other ground. Interesting. Look at that. I pull out of the ground. Got some kind of weird stray voltage there. And then when I hook to a ground, okay, so I think we already found the problem. We found your problem, lady, is what I'm thinking. I think we're missing a ground, old son. All right, so here we are, folks. We are probed into the pink wire. Again, A4, which comes from the relay, right? A4, right there, followed around town, comes from this relay. So we're hoping that the relay's latched. We don't know. So we go back here, and I'm putting the ground on the door striker right now. What's that give us for voltage? Whoops. Let me just hold this ground here, if I can. Okay, what's that give us for voltage? Right about there. We have the battery maintainer on position 1. It says 13.85 volts. Now I remove the ground, goes somewhere else, and then I'm going to utilize the ground inside the connector here, number A. That's B right there. And where does that put us? That puts us right there at 1.24 volts, about a volt and a quarter. And then I'm going to utilize the other ground, which comes from the same place. All right, well That's your problem, lady, right there. The grounds that we're using are B8 and A8. We're using both of those grounds. Where do they go, son? On lower left corner of trunk, G402. So that's this one here. So let's do this. Let's go get a jumper wire and let's jumper the ground and see if all of a sudden our entire world is fixed. So that's the ground for that. Not even gonna look at the door lock stuff. Yeah, let's go get a jumper wire and see what happens. Oh, let's see. Come on out. There we go. Get some probe action. From the back section. Let me just try to find which one's tighter. We'll go in that hole. There we go. That one feels good. I'm gonna clip this back on the door check. Clip this right here. Well, I didn't see any. Oh, I was gonna say I didn't see any lights light up, but now everything lit up. Huzzah! Just real quick here. Quick like a bunny, I'm gonna see, can we talk to the Remy? Enter system. Trouble codes. Oh, did we hear the door lock cycle too? There we go. All right, let's just clear the codes out of the rim. And I know you guys aren't really up on the screen here, but that's okay. And we're gonna pop out of here. Let me just get out of here real quick. What I wanna do is a quick erase and see if we got rid of the class 2 data malfunction, which I'm assuming that we did, but we'll check for sure. Yep, we got green lights there, old son. So this is easy. All right, let's go up here and see what else works now. This bad boy work? Hey, wait, no, what do you say? Hey, does this work? Oh, no kidding, huh? See, we'd have to look at that wiring diagram a little more and see how it's related to the lock and unlock. Boom, what we got back here? A little buttered popcorn, huh? Only 80 calories. Oh, we got a whole bag of them. Well, we'll have to find the ground, see where that goes. Can't say I've ever fixed one of those. I mean, we fixed the ground, let's be honest. Let's see, his dome lights work. I think it fixed half his problems. But the turn signal's still gonna blink quick. Nope, it's not. You know why? Because that brake light or whatever it is, that doesn't look right. That's too dim. All right. Everything's feeding off the same ground here. Yeah, because this is too dim. That's a marker light anyway. There's something there. Yeah, see, that outside light shouldn't be blinking. So this light still has a bad ground, and it's grounding through the marker system. Well, here's what it is. We'll get her fixed. So here's what we're going for, is this G402. It looks like there is a splice pack. That runs digital radio receiver, left tail stop lamp. So it's curious that we have this portion of it. It must be broke right here, this eyelet or the splice pack, because the rim module here we have grounded and it's working. However, that left rear tail stop lamp isn't working. So that tells me that, you know, we've grounded it over here on the left side, but apparently it's not going through the whole splice pack. And then, you know, because it seems like that tail lamp would work. So it makes me wonder if that splice pack, if we find the splice pack 402, if we find this sucker wherever it lives in the lower left corner of the trunk, I bet we're gonna find that it's all green. But it also runs the overhead console cigar lighter. That's what I say, bring back cars with the ashtrays, old son. Garage door opener, outside moisture sensor, moist, inside rear view mirror. All right, huzzah. So still don't know its relationship to the door locks. Vanity, left rear, reading lamp, overhead console lamp. So yeah, don't know its connection to the door locks. Almost don't care enough to figure that portion of it out. I almost do, but I almost don't. Let's go find G402, get after it. Lower left corner of the trunk. I hope that's not what I think it is. Free circus. Where my hose at? Right there. Lower left corner of the trunk. Here's the left side. I'm thinking probably back here somewhere. I don't know if we need to actually take that out. Kind of smells like baby powder back here. What's this? What's this wire? Find some aftermarket something or other. I don't see anything hanging around here that's of any interest. Maybe it's this thing. It smells premium air freshener from the chemical guys. The smell of success. Wow. That's what success smells like right there. But you can't smell it because you're not here. To me, it smells like baby powder, so I think success smells like baby powder. I don't know if that's some kind of antennae wire. I think I found it. I think I found it. Get that right out of my way. We'll cover up that smell of success because we're not there yet. But I'm assuming this is it. This thing right here. This thing right here that's disconnected, lady. Oh, now it's reconnected. Now I can't wiggle it off. I think it was half unplugged. That's your splice block 402. Let's see if we've solved world problems. I know we didn't do that, but let's see if we solved car problems. We'll do it raw and uncut, because I'm pretty sure that that was just unplugged, because I don't know how it unplugs, but all I know is I pulled on it, and it came undone. Came undone, old son. Let's disconnect little jumper. Take that out of there. We don't need that in there anymore. Well, that jumper wire was pretty warm. She was carrying current, we'll say. Let's see, did we fix everything? That works. Is our light bright yet? Oh, look at that. We have a bright light and no more action there. So that explains everything. The whole mystery. Look at that. This guy wasted, I guess, months. This thing's been getting worked on. For no parts required fix for a connector that simply needed to be plugged back in. I don't know about you, but that's why it smells like this back here. Maybe he tried spraying it with the smell of success, but still failed. I don't know. I don't think there's any more things to do. The blinkers blink, the door locks lock, the windows go up and down, and the dome lights work. Lots and lots of frustration around here. Lots of parts. That's a big bolt. Who knows where that came from? Door modules, relays. I tell people time and time again, it will cost you much less money in the end to let me fix your car first versus just unloading that parts cannon. They see me doing my walk. Huh?
You're doing the walk.
Doing my strut.
There you are.
No, just fix the car.
Of course it is. It's what you do.
It's what I'm hired to do. It's not what I always do. Anyhow, fixed her up, no parts required. The guy absolutely unloaded the parts cannon on it too.
Well.
Live and learn, huh?
Mm-hmm.
So what's up?
Monday morning.
Yeah, I know. Having a hard time getting motivated.
Well, you got one of your lists done.
I know.
Check.
That's all you do, one thing at a time. That's how I tell myself each day. So getting
thing
overwhelmed by the 9 million things you have to do, just pick one thing. Get her
Good
done.
idea.
Get her done. You know what I usually pick? The nap. You get a super easy one once in a while. This is one of those videos that likely would never made the internet, but we recorded it, and I'm trying to fiddle around with the screen record feature on Alltel there and see how that integrates and see if that's easy to add to the videos or if it becomes a big pain in my hoo-ha. So this would be a good video for that because it was good and short, and if it was a complete failure, not a huge waste. But let this just be a reminder to you folks, you know, I encourage DIYing, you know, just because there's so much information and tooling available to folks nowadays. So getting the wiring diagrams and theory and operation and vehicle service info in the United States of America is easy to obtain and affordable. So there's no excuse to not have it if you're working on your own car. As a matter of fact, in the description down there, the one down there, you'll see, I think below, the jargon of like, hey, this video is about, you know, blah, 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 such and such. Right below that, it states like, hey, you want wiring diagrams like me? I leave an affiliate link that I have to Mitchell DIY. There's Mitchell DIY, All Data, Motologic, Motor. Those are probably your top 4, Identifix. And then there's also factory GM. You can go to, you know, AC Delco and get factory GM service info for this on a short-term subscription. That's super affordable. And then that gives you, you know, what, Techline Connect or whatever they call it. And then you have access to the same diagrams and stuff that the dealership has, or, you know, similar to the ones you'll find there on Mitchell and so on. So no excuse for not having info. And also, you know, scan tools are pretty affordable nowadays. There's a million DIY options out there that scan all modules on the vehicles that you can get that are pretty affordable. So if you're doing your own DIY stuff, you still have to have tooling and information. I mean, there's no getting around that. There is information you can get, you know, freely from the internet, but if you want reliable sources of information, I would recommend just paying for either a short-term OEM subscription or purchasing this vehicle for, you know, the month or the year or whatever from Mitchell, which is really, really inexpensive, which will give most DIYers the information they need to do it at home, you know. And then, like I say, tools. You got to have tools. You got to have scan tool. Like how would you know that rim module isn't communicating unless you had a scan tool that had the ability to talk to it? I don't think you would. It would just be a big fat guess. And then as far as checking the powers and grounds and stuff, I don't think, you know, you don't need a scope, but you do need, you know, a $4 Harbor Freight test light, and then determine like, hey, my light's dim, or in this case, the light wouldn't even lit up because just the module plugged in, it drew it down to, you know, 1.25 volts or whatever it was. So regular voltmeter there. I'm a big fan of using a test light when we're doing powers and grounds, particularly on something like this where that was you know, a 10 or 15 amp circuit, whatever it was. You know, you could certainly probe that with your test light. But when you probe it, if your ground was hooked somewhere else, you would have said, hey, we got good power, which we did. But you got to make sure you check that ground side too. So load that ground side. And, you know, there you go. Bada bing, bada boom, easy. And if you do need a scope, you know, you can go on the line, aeswave.com, and get yourself a little U-scope. This is my favorite scope to use, to be honest with you. I've got a Pico, I've got the Alltel, and I've got my little U-scope. You guys see me use this probably more than any scope. And you can tell by, you know, how dirty everything is in the box. And it's my favorite little scope to use. As a matter of fact, I just ordered a bigger case for it through Jarhead Diagnostics, waiting for that to show up. And I'll show you that when that gets here. I don't know. It's just an independent fellow that makes, I think, 3D printed cases for it, so I had ordered that, but it takes a little while to get it. So when that shows up, I'll show you. But, you know, tooling and information is easily accessible and often affordable. And if you're going to DIY it, folks, you got to have it. Bottom line. So that's it. Why don't you guys go down there below this bottom line and leave a comment in the comment section. Insta, Facebook, check out my links to service info if you need some of that. Check out AES Wave. If you're looking for a scan tool, you want to make sure it's legit US scan tool, buy it from them. That's what I can tell you. Insta, Facebook, and just remember, viewers, I think I already did that. If I can do it, you can do it. Thanks for watching.